Sirte, Libya, October 19, 2011, 8:30 a.m. District 2 burns under NATO bombs as concrete crumbles into dust. The smell of death fills the Mediterranean air. Muammar Gaddafi stands in the ruins of his childhood neighborhood. 69 years old, 42 years in power, 8 months running. 20 vehicles remain from a convoy that once numbered hundreds. Most bodyguards dead or fled. Saif al-Islam vanished into the desert. Only Mu'tasim stays loyal. The brother leader weighs 140 pounds with hollow cheeks and sleepless eyes. The man who commanded fear across Africa now commands only ghosts. This is the story of Muammar Gaddafi's final day alive. The Ouagadougou Conference Hall serves as his final palace. Gaddafi sits in a gold chair surrounded by maps of Sirte marked with red circles for rebel positions and blue squares for loyalist strongholds. The numbers tell a grim story. Rebels control 80% of his hometown. NATO jets destroyed most armor. Ammunition runs low. His security chief delivers the briefing. Misrata brigades mass for assault. Benghazi forces control the coastal highway. Gaddafi studies satellite photos. These streets raised him from desert poverty to continental power. Now they become his final battlefield. Mu'tasim enters carrying intelligence reports. 8 months of warfare transformed the Playboy Prince into a warrior. He reports massive rebel reinforcement from 3 directions. They plan simultaneous assault at dawn. Gaddafi nods without looking up. He tells his forces to prepare for battle. This is where the revolution began. This is where it ends. His hands shake as he traces defensive positions. Radio static crackles through the command center. Field reports pour in from the shrinking perimeter. Each transmission brings worse news. Gaddafi listens with rage building. These people owe him everything. He built their schools from desert sand, their hospitals from oil revenue. Libya was a backward monarchy before 1969. Now it has the highest living standards in Africa. How dare they hunt their liberator? His intelligence chief approaches. Rebels know the tunnel systems. Someone feeds them information from inside. Paranoia floods his mind. The Americans betrayed him. The Europeans abandoned him. He orders all communication equipment destroyed. They will fight in silence. Every face becomes a potential traitor. Night falls as NATO drones circle overhead. Gaddafi relocates to a bombed building. 30 loyalists remain. Mu'tasim cleans weapons by candlelight. They share stale bread and warm water. 4 decades of luxury disappeared in 8 months. Now he sleeps on concrete, drinks from dirty bottles. Mu'tasim works his AK-47 with practiced efficiency. The boy who partied in London nightclubs now counts ammunition. Mu'tasim suggests a breakout under darkness. Gaddafi refuses. They face enemies in daylight like revolutionaries. His mind drifts to better times. Overthrowing King Idris. Crowds cheering his speeches. Oil transforming desert into paradise. Those memories feel more real than the bombs outside. Sleep becomes impossible. His mind races through decades. The Green Book promised to revolutionize society. Direct democracy, resource sharing without capitalism. For 30 years, his system worked. Libya achieved the highest literacy rate in Africa. Women gained equal rights before most European nations. But the Arab Spring poisoned everything. Social media connected protesters faster than security forces could react. He tries calling allies. Russia disconnects. China refuses. Venezuela ignores him. 42 years have vanished in 8 months. Dawn approaches with the rumble of tank engines. Rebel forces begin their final assault. His bodyguards prepare weapons. Some protected him for 20 years. They remember overthrowing the monarchy and promising to transform Libya. Through wars with Chad and confrontations with America. Through sanctions and diplomatic rehabilitation. They stayed loyal. Now they prepare to die for it. Gaddafi removes his golden pistol engraved with Quranic verses. A gift from Fidel Castro. If death comes, he will meet it fighting. Rocket-propelled grenades echo through the streets. Concrete walls crumble. Time grows short. His bodyguards kiss photographs of families they will never see again, say prayers in Arabic, and check their weapons one last time. The revolution that began 42 years ago prepares for its end. The final battle erupts with earth-shaking explosions. Artillery shells punch through concrete. Loyalist positions collapse. His men return fire desperately, but ammunition runs low. They face 100-to-1 odds. Hope evaporates with morning mist. Through smoke and chaos, Gaddafi watches Mu'tasim take a bullet through the chest, dies clutching his rifle as blood spreads across concrete. For 42 years, Gaddafi showed no mercy. Prisoners vanished into Abu Salim. Dissidents hung in public squares. Entire tribes relocated for opposing him. Now mercy abandons him completely. His security chief approaches with 8 survivors. One escape route remains, the drainage tunnels beneath Sirte. Gaddafi stares at Mu'tasim's body, nods slowly. Even revolutionary pride has limits. The son who should have inherited power lies dead. The future dies with the boy. 8 vehicles race through the drainage tunnels. Massive pipes built during the oil boom. Wide enough for emergency access. Headlights cut through stagnant air thick with sewage smell. The last remnants of the Jamahiriya flee toward exile. Above them, rebels discover the escape route. Radio chatter fills airways as commanders coordinate pursuit. For 40 minutes, escape seems possible. Algeria lies 200 kilometers west. Niger offers asylum. Chad might grant sanctuary. But NATO surveillance never sleeps. Predator drones track heat signatures through concrete. French jets receive coordinates. The convoy emerges onto Highway 2 at 8:15 a.m. The last mistake Muammar Gaddafi will ever make. The highway stretches toward salvation. Mediterranean waves crash against shores. NATO aircraft circle at killing altitude. 8 vehicles accelerate toward the Algerian border. They carry 4 decades of dreams and nightmares. At 8:17 a.m., French jets strike. Laser-guided missiles obliterate the lead vehicle. Bodies scatter across burning asphalt. Gaddafi's Toyota swerves off the highway. The second missile hits dead center. The vehicle disintegrates in a fireball. He crawls from the wreckage with blood streaming from head wounds. His uniform hangs in tatters. The golden pistol remains clutched in trembling fingers. Behind him, 42 years of power burns. The King of Kings becomes a wounded animal. The brother leader becomes prey. Highway 2 east of Sirte. A concrete drainage pipe 3 feet wide. Gaddafi drags his broken body into the tunnel. Sewage water soaks his uniform as he crouches in darkness. 8 months of running and nowhere left to flee. Vehicle engines approach from both directions. Rebel fighters converge on the crash site. They smell blood. The golden pistol weighs heavy. 6 bullets remain, enough to take enemies with him. At 8:35 a.m., flashlights pierce the darkness. Young voices shout in Arabic. Fighters drunk on victory. They drag him into sunlight. The brother leader pleads for mercy. But mercy died with Mu'tasim. Rifle butts crack his skull. Steel boots crush his ribs. Bayonets tear his flesh. Cell phones record everything. The dictator who ruled through fear tastes terror. The man who showed no mercy receives none. At 8:42 a.m., someone seizes his pistol and fires 1 shot into his brain. The King of Kings dies in a roadside ditch, executed with his own weapon by fighters young enough to be his grandchildren. Cell phone videos spread across social media within minutes. His corpse, displayed in a Misrata meat locker, becomes the defining image of Arab Spring. Hillary Clinton laughs with reporters about his death. Her words become infamous across the Arab world. NATO declares mission accomplished. Rebels form a government in Tripoli. Democracy will flourish now, they said. But Libya fractures into warfare within months. ISIS establishes strongholds. Militias battle for oil facilities. The nation becomes a failed state. A decade later, Libya remains divided between rival governments and mercenaries. The prosperity Gaddafi built evaporated with his death. Whether Libya needed reform or revolution remains unanswered. The man who ruled 42 years died as he lived, violently, dramatically, convinced only he could save Libya from itself. What do you think Libya lost when Gaddafi died in that drainage pipe?